Happy 4th of July, folks. Yes, such a great time to be in America, am I right? Yeah. Anyway, you thought I would review Yankee Doodle Dandy or Born on the 4th of July, which I thought about it, I'll be honest. But this year, folks, I'll talk about one of the quintessential blockbusters of the 1990s that I specifically hold very dear to my heart. That's right, 1996's Independence Day. ID4, man. Released by 20th Century Fox on July 4th, 1996, with one of the greatest posters as well as one of the greatest teaser trailers of all time. All the public needed to go to see this movie was the iconic sequence of an alien spaceship hovering over the White House and blowing the holy shit out of it. Excuse my language, but that was it. That's all you needed to know to be enticed and invigorated. Audiences came to see this movie in droves, my family included. But of course, once you sit down and see the flick, there are important plot points, including characters and such. Isn't that wonderful? And once we all learned who led the cast, now we're really pumped. Because it's such a phenomenally studded cast. But the story plays out like this. Aliens are coming into orbit towards Earth, spanning all throughout 15-mile wide ships. It's Earth's response and reaction to an alien ship coming in and taking it step by step what to do until they attack. All major cities are in ruins, and now it's up to a handful of significant people to figure out a way to fight back. 'Cause America! But I tell you, folks, I was a happy little 6-year-old sitting in a theater with my family, just in awe of this film. Did I understand a lot of the military mumbo-jumbo or even a couple of plot points that were developing? Not really, but I did not care. And in the tradition of disaster flicks, where a certain city or state, in this case, the whole damn planet, is in trouble because of an unexpected disaster, dialogue and plot points and character work is really not to be taken seriously. I mean, this isn't flipping Chekhov or Shakespeare, you understand? So we can just push aside any sense of poetic scenes or dialogue on the page. Hell, even throw away certain realities, things that make absolutely no sense in the context of defeating aliens. All that matters, folks, is having a damn good special effecty time, which this modern classic provides sweepingly. After I saw this film with my family at the time, I was so pumped. And did I get the action figures as a kid? You bet I did. Some of them anyway. So my inner child definitely holds a loving nostalgia to this. And as an adult, folks, I still look at this film and enjoy it like crazy. We'll get into a lot of spoilers, so fair warning, but I love how we start this movie off with just the simplest title card, which is great because that's all we need, and then the American flag on the moon with composer David Arnold's trumpet theme for America. It's such a nice moment. And then we see the post from Armstrong and Aldrin from the moon landing. We came in peace for all mankind. And then the darkness overflowing the moon, which is tense. Ooh, the Extraterrestrial Institute citing the signal, something coming from the moon, and the kid playing golf in the middle of it. What the hell? And then calling Eric Bari. I love that dude in his one scene. Then we get Dan Lauria from the Wonder Years popping up with the great Robert Loggia as the general getting the news. Then we meet Bill Pullman, our nation's president, which I remember as a kid. The concept of an actor playing the president wasn't computing, so I most likely believed Bill Pullman was actually the president of the United States. We see he's a dad and husband with his wife, the First Lady, played by the great Mary McDonnell, and she's off doing her own work, but now the news has made it to the president about the ship, and now it's the White House figuring out what to do. Meanwhile, we meet my personal favorite character in this whole film. That's right, you guessed it, Jeff Goldblum as David, a satellite engineer, and you can figure out what his contribution in the script is from here on. But I think of all relationships and character work, if any, within this film that I love the most, it is the relationship and chemistry between Jeff Goldblum and Judd Hirsch, who plays his dad. Apparently, most of their dialogue was improvised, so that just clearly states how frickin' pros they are. And then we get a little more comedic relief, I guess, with Harvey Fierstein popping up as David's coworker. But then there is the annoying performance of James Duval as Miguel. I'm sorry, not my favorite in this piece. Randy Quaid plays his dad, and hey, he's a crop-dusting pilot. That will come in handy in Act 2, I'm sure, but the little character work of him being a drunk after apparently being abducted by aliens when he was younger, there is something there as well. As the ship is coming in closer and closer, now in Earth's hemisphere, now we meet everyone's favorite, the ever-so-amazing Will Smith as Captain Steve Hiller, pilot in the Marines with his dear girlfriend Jasmine, played by Vivica A. Fox, and the kid who played Buckwheat in the Little Rascals movie. But with the aliens popping in, now they have to get ready for whatever might come. But David figures out, for himself of course, that they, without a doubt, are going to attack. Checkmate. As New York, LA, and DC go nuts, David takes it upon himself to contact his ex-wife, who just happens to be the communications director, played by MARGARET, COLIN, to alert the president. As the nutbags are getting ready for the aliens to hopefully come in peace, like Jasmine's co-working stripper, Tiffany, everyone else is vacating. All of this setup is well-paced by director Roland Emmerich and crisp editing by David Brenner. Then we get the commencement of the whole attack, which is where the special effects team and the sound department go frickin' nuts. Time's up. I remember seeing this whole sequence and just being wowed. I hadn't seen effects like that in the theater before then, and I was hooked. I mean, I was 6 years old. What do you want? But the total destruction of the major cities is intense. Incredible stuff. But now it's up to the president and his cabinet, or whomever's left, to come up with a solution to defeat the extraterrestrial, even consulting Area 51. Folks, in short, I love this film. After viewing it again just recently, this is pure old-fashioned entertainment that was made at the perfect time of the 90s. Screenwriter Dean Devlin and Roland Emmerich first came up with the idea while promoting Stargate, which I also love. Wait for a review on that one. And talked to a reporter stating, "What if you woke up one morning and saw a 15-mile wide spaceship arrive?" Boom. They wrote it and then shopped it around as War of the Worlds meets Pulp Fiction, which is probably the most interesting and freaking hilarious pitch for this movie. And it certainly does not disappoint with some ridiculousness. As most people well know, the amount of overused comedy in this film, the characters on paper, and evidently in the film, yeah, they're paper thin. But you know what? That is what definitely gives it its charm. Not to mention, of course, the amazing charisma of Will Smith. You get iconic sequences like, oh, and let's not forget probably the most iconic from the movie.
And that's what I call a close encounter.
It just never ends. But that's why we love him. Still, right? But this film indeed shot Smith out to superstardom. Now, like I said, the whole cast is fantastic, even with great small supporting roles like Brent Spiner as Dr. Oaken, who takes care of the alien life forms that were found at the original crash. Everyone going, oh my God, it's Data from Star Trek, The Next Gen. And let me tell you, that surgery scene when they're cutting the newly arrived alien that Will Smith brings scared the holy shit out of me as a kid. Not to mention the following scene when the alien life form takes a hold of Spiner to translate because the alien has no vocal cords, and the haunting delivery of "Release me" is literally spiner tingling. Talk about good tension they build there. But between Judd Hirsch's and Harry Connick Jr.'s improvised hilarity, James REBHORN's weaselly snake-like actions as Secretary of Defense, Randy Quaid's wild, wonderful, and really heartwarming breath as a father who ends up redeeming himself with his sacrifice for the world at the end, spoiler, I know. I do love that moment when his missile malfunctions and he just takes a deep look at his kids and then, "Do me a favor, tell my children I love them very much." And then the music pumps up. It does get me, folks. It works. It works on me. The cheesy-ass dialogue works. Mainly because we have fantastic actors taking these roles and making something out of them. Definitely leaning in to the subtle cheese factor. Subtle, right? But I'll tell you what, though. Bill Pullman as President Whitmore is without a doubt probably the most badass president on film we've ever had. Bill Pullman just retains a calm, cool, collect mode and really is the last one to speak because he hears everyone out. He's not emotional and doesn't jump the gun at all. He weighs everything out and believes in his association, finding the best in David, finding out how horrible James REBHORN is as Secretary of Defense, cares for his military, and hates to lose good men. That's why taking the decision to drop a nuke on the ship was the only resort that they knew they had left at the time. And his total status as a badass is clearly cemented by, you know what, ladies and gentlemen, his speech before the ultimate attack. Folks, we know how cheesy that writing is. We know. But Bill Pullman stands so steadily and strong and gives a breath of hope and power to it. The way Bill Pullman brings that speech to a head with,
But as the day when the world declared in one voice, we will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. We're going to live on. We're going to survive. Today, we celebrate our Independence Day.
oh, he said it. He said the thing. The crowd on set for that were not scripted to applaud, but Bill was so damn good that they loved it. And with David Arnold's Grammy Award-winning score, it's just purely American and patriotic. Some extras on set apparently were Hispanic and from other countries and really believed he was the president. So that's why I'm just saying, Bill, there's still time to run for president, buddy. The special effects may look dated now, but honestly, for 1996, this was fantastic work, using model work like no film had before, let me tell you. And most of the plane work was done by great CGI, which is absolutely incredible. And the creature alien designs was something very, very, very fascinating. It's almost teetering on the resemblance of the alien life form in Stargate, as well as somewhat the xenomorphs. So it's almost a mesh of the two, but it definitely works. I mean, this movie became absolutely huge, spawning a PlayStation video game, even a less than below par sequel 20 years later, Resurgence, which I guess we'll cover one day. Nominated for 2 Oscars, winning one for its impeccable visual effects and also nominated for its sound, with a budget of $75 million, becoming the highest grossing movie of the year, grossing $817.4 million worldwide. This film is still and will always be a staple for 4th of July because it represents a time where we could just go to the movies and have a good time. All in all, folks, I give 20th Century Fox's Independence Day an A-. They said it wasn't over until the fat lady sings. Well, it is over. So don't you love having fun at the movies? Don't you? And I hope you all have fun with your hot dogs, your burgers, your beer, your potato salad, or whatever you love having or doing, celebrating the 4th of July. But tell me, my friends, do you like or even hate Independence Day? Please, oh please tell me your thoughts, list them in the comments below, and share with all your friends. If you like this, please click like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more to come. In the meantime, thank you all so very kindly for watching and listening to me ramble. And, oh yeah, didn't I promise you fireworks? Yeah.